What's up, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with Tesla SPY in the overall markets, talk about some very important support levels to watch for and what you should be watching for as time goes on for these charts. But just note that I am not a financial planner. Make sure you take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link. If you deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. Deposit $1,000, you're guaranteed 15 in total, not to mention 8.1% APY on uninvested cash. Soft runs very soon in just a couple of weeks, so check it out before they run out. Anyways, for Tesla, I just want to mention that right now Tesla is showing some weakness. We ended up closing below our 4-hour 200 EMA. However, there's one last support that Tesla could try to hold for us to try to hold up. Otherwise, there's going to be a risk of more downside. I'll talk more about that support in just a couple of minutes. Let's first talk about some catalysts for the markets. So just notes that for next week, on Monday, we have consumer inflationary expectations data coming out, which is very minor. For Tuesday, we have some bill auctions, which is very minor as well. But then Wednesday is going to be a very important day. It's going to be on September 11th, 2024. We have the CPI report coming out. This is going to be very, very important. Now, CPI will dictate interest rates and also how the market views the economy, the Fed's policies, and etc. So this will still be very important. I'm sure that many of you know that Jerome Powell said the main thing they're looking at now is unemployment, but that doesn't necessarily trivialize the importance of CPI. CPI is still going to be very important. The Fed will still be looking at this. So it's going to be one of the biggest catalysts for the week. And then for Thursday, we have PPI data coming out. So that's going to be another big catalyst affecting wholesale inflation, followed by Friday's consumer sentiment reports from Michigan. So we'll be watching to see what ends up coming out from those. Besides that, just know that Wednesday and Thursday of next week will be the two most volatile days. We're going to be looking for a lot of volume coming into the markets because of those events. Right now, the market thinks there's a 70% chance we get a 25 basis point cut and a 30% chance we get a 50 basis point cut for that end. And then remember that as far as the calendar goes, for Wednesday, September 11th, we have CPI. And then the week after, the Wednesday after that, September 18th, we have FOMC with Jerome Powell giving a speech. So those are going to be some big catalysts for the markets. For earnings, this is what the calendar is looking like. It's all very, very minor. We have Oracle on Monday, GameStop on Tuesday, Manchester United on Wednesday, and then Big Lots and a few others on Thursday. So everything is quite minor, nothing too crazy. Anyways, let's talk about what's happening with Tesla. So there's been a lot of talk by Morgan Stanley's Adam Jonas about the October 10th event for the robotaxi. I think this is going to be very important for Tesla because we're going to be looking for their latest milestones in autonomous technology. And he mentioned that investors should be expecting a lot of very, very interesting things. So, what he first said is that once again, he's very bullish on Tesla for the long term. And he said that there's going to be a lot of developments to FSD. And he mentioned that part of his bullish target has a lot to do with not only the robotaxi, but a lot of things that are going to be shown off by Tesla. He's saying that given the extra time that they gained, there's going to be a lot of cool things they're going to show off. And we can't wait to see what they surprise us with. He also mentioned that anything is possible. We could see an electric plane, a boat, the latest gen of Optimus, a robot flipping a burger, all kinds of very, very cool things he was basically talking about. Those are all very, very big possibilities. But he also mentioned that, you never know what could happen. I think that's kind of funny. But he mentioned that his long-term bull thesis is built around the initiative of self-driving and robotaxis. And he said that Tesla is going to be powering a lot more investments and supercomputing. So he said that those are going to be some big catalysts for them, not to mention the new milestone about their FSD expanding to Europe and China. So very, very big news, at least for Tesla. So once again, Morgan Stanley's analysts are very, very bullish, and they have a $310 price target for Tesla, which is very, very amazing news for us moving forward. So that's good news for us. That's what Morgan Stanley have been saying since yesterday. But the question is, what about for Tesla? Does this mean that for the immediate term, it's going to affect us? For the immediate term, not necessarily. Tesla is still kind of looking bearish right here, and we're still watching this big yellow line I drew out here. So we have this yellow trend line as our main support. There were instances where we did dip below this and only get bought back up within a day or two. So we'll see if Tesla dips below this to get bought back up or not. This is going to be very, very critical for Tesla. Right now, we're touching the trend line. We're seeing some buyers defending it. So we will see if Tesla holds. If we don't hold 210, we're basically looking for this 208 area, followed by 205. And if we hold this, we're going to be looking for a rebound for that 212 area. In my personal opinion, I think that there's a chance we dip down here, then try to rebound, or we try to rebound right over here to try to hold this yellow trend line. So watch that very, very carefully, and we'll see how things end up going. With that being said, Tesla's doing a good job at holding the trend line so far. We're barely holding this right now, so we'll see if we dip a little bit before we try to rebound or not. I presume what's going to happen is we might actually dip a little bit more during the pre-market on Monday, maybe fill this imbalance, and then we'll see if we get a bounce to try to reclaim this trend line or not, because we could dip below this and still be fine, just like how we did back in the end of August. We dipped below this and then rebounded. So we'll see if Tesla does something similar. We dip a little bit and try to rebound. We got to try to reclaim this yellow trend line for this uptrend to remain. Otherwise, things could go south for Tesla. So just be very careful. I presume we're going to most likely dip below this and try to rebound. For SPY, I'm thinking that the most important time frame is not the 4 hour, but the weekly chart. I think this is very, very important because the weekly looks a little bit more bearish. So we're going to be looking at this 538 target. I think we might be testing that area, and we'll see if we get a rebound or not. We actually are dipping to new lows in the post-market session right now. So what happens is it's not about 538 specifically. We can actually dip below that and still be fine. The question is, will we end up reclaiming that by the end of the week? If we reclaim 538 by the end of the week, we're going to be fine. So even if we do dip a little bit lower, we're going to be looking for basically 538 as the main support. If that does not hold, we're looking for basically this gap support right here at 536. If 536 does not hold, our next target is to be all the way down here towards the gap fill for 534. So I think it is possible we dip a little bit more closer to the mid 530s, but we'll be watching to see if we get a bounce towards the middle of the week, possibly thanks to CPI. That could be the catalyst. So I think what's going to happen is we dip a little bit more, but there could be a rebound coming as we see buyers defend our 20 EMA. So look for a little bit more downside than maybe during the middle of the week. We might try to rebound and try to reclaim 538. That's the most likely case in my opinion. For Nvidia, we're still dipping a bit. We have this key support zone to watch for between 95 and 100. I think that Nvidia may dip close to that range, and we'll see if we bounce off that or not. But that's going to be critical for our support. For ES, we're dipping right now. We're going to be watching to see if we can reclaim 54.23 from here. If we don't reclaim that, we could be dipping all the way down to about 53.60 as SPY hits the mid 530s. And then we'll see if we get a bounce off that support or not. We have a nice support right over here. Previous resistance becoming support at 530 to 530. 5300 to 5350 around that range. So I think we might be testing that on ES. We could dip a little bit more and we'll see if we get a bounce or not. For NQ, we're continuing to fall right now. We're going to be looking to see if we could try to hold this support right here at this 18,250 area. So all the way down here. And then if that doesn't hold, we're going to be looking for basically 18,000 flat, excuse me, then 17,800 after that. So we could dip a little bit more, then we'll see if we rebound off this support. So watch for that very carefully. For the QQQ, we're dipping right now. We're going to be looking for basically 444 followed by 440 flat. We could be hitting these levels before we try to rebound. So watch for that very, very carefully. We had this high up here. We came down, made a lower high. I think we might dip a little bit more for the triple Q, but we have this key support at 444. If it doesn't hold, I could be looking for 440 to be tested, and then we'll be watching to see if we bounce off one of those levels. For Apple, we're dipping right now, but we're going to be looking at some key support on the 4-hour time frame at our 200 EMA. So right here, this is our key support at 218. I think Apple will dip 2 points towards that next week, and we'll see if we bounce off that or not this time. We did bounce off this the last time we hit this. So watch 218 as key support. We'll see if it bounces or not. If it doesn't bounce off that, we're dipping towards 216 all over again. But I'm going to be watching that as a key support. For the Russell 2000 IWM, we're looking at 206 as our key target. We'll see if we bounce off that or not. We have an imbalance to fill down there. If it does not hold, we're going down to like 202, and we'll see if we bounce off that. So give it some time. For Coinbase, on a big downtrend right here, we have this 150 area as our resistance, and the main support to watch for is going to be around this 145 area. So we'll see if 145 holds or not. If it does hold, we could rebound. So watch and see. But so far, we are still on a bit of a downtrend. For Amazon, we're dipping right now. We have 170 as our main support, not to mention 168. And we will see if we bounce off one of those levels. But I think that Amazon could dip a little bit more, and we'll see how things end up going from here. We do have an inverse cup and handle structure that's starting to develop. We have a double top rejection that's forming. So this does generally lead us to dipping to the support to at least 168. So I think Amazon may dip a little bit more, and we'll see how we react to that. For Meta, we're dipping below 500 right now. So we could be dipping for 494, followed by this imbalance towards 490 around that range. And we'll see if we bounce off one of those levels. With that being said, let me just go over two more before I conclude this video. Microsoft may dip a little bit more. We're barely at 400. 400 does not hold, so we have a gap to fill down to 394, and then we'll see if we bounce off that. So watch this support. We could dip a little bit more. Google may also dip more. We lost 156, which is a critical support. So we're going to be watching 150 followed by 148. We'll see if we bounce off one of those, but I do anticipate a little bit more downside towards 150. With that being said, that is it for my video, guys. I want to make this one nice, short, sweet, and simple for the weekend. So please enjoy your Friday and the rest of the weekend to come. I'll give you guys another update on some tweets from Elon Musk for tomorrow. I haven't really talked about him in a long time. And then in my video for Sunday, I'll be back to give you guys a very, very meticulous update on Tesla, Nvda, AMD, and pretty much everything I typically go over. So I'll see you guys on tomorrow. I'll see you guys tomorrow for another update involving Elon Musk and maybe Tesla. And then I'll be back with a much more in-depth update for Sunday. So until then, thank you all so much for listening. Enjoy the weekend for what it has to offer. Have fun, guys. Do what you have to do. Happy Friday, and I'll see you guys very soon tomorrow. Thank you for listening, and peace out.